Hi, my name is Mitra, Manesh. I'm a servant. I serve through teaching, coaching, consulting, or any other way that I can find to share what I know with those who want to know. And this Lights On podcast is one of those ways. It was created with consciousness and mindful living in heart. So join us as we travel through many roads of learning and transformation together. And if you enjoy our podcast, please give us feedback by rating us 5-star and share us with others if you think they may benefit from it. On behalf of my team, I thank you for your presence. This episode is about the definition of mindful aging. We've been using this terminology, and I thought it's a good idea to actually unfold the meaning of it and the definition of it and see if that helps us to better understand and hopefully experience the process of mindful aging. Let's take a listen together. Let me just talk about, so we talked about aging and how our beliefs is really driving our relationship with our aging. Let me talk about a little bit about mindful aging. What did I mean by mindful aging? I think if there is one application of mindfulness that is really, really crucial to the way we experience our life, it would be in the area of mindful aging. How do we experience it? And the way I define mindful aging, I wrote down something that I'm going to read for you. It's the really using the principles of mindfulness and applying it to the experience of getting old. And the way I wrote it was this: mindful aging is compassionately accepting our present aging experience and curiously being aware of other possibilities for meaning, joy, and roles, different roles that we have. We'll send it to you. I'll send this meaning. So we see that really we're using the principle of accepting the first principle, the fact that we're all age. Anything alive ages. Flowers do, plants do, animals do, we do. Anything alive ages. And really accepting that and moving from there onwards. And the way I wanted to encourage everybody to look at aging is I divide aging into three categories. One is the physical aspect of our aging. The second one is the mental aspect of our aging. And the third one is energetic aspect of our aging. So the reason I'm separating these three from each other is because we may have a more intense reaction and relationship with one area than another. And it's important that we separate their accounts so that we can attend to them differently. So physicality, yes, there's so much I can do. What do I do? What is my belief around my physical aging? Have I accepted it, or am I comparing myself to 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds? Do I know that for my age, those are things I can do, and there's things that I can do to help myself, but eventually my skin will never look like, my body will never look like when I was younger or comparing to other people. Mentally, what we talked about, the memory, things that I can learn, things that I can do. What am I doing mentally? This is a great opportunity for us actually in our aging process to become more in charge of our thinking mind instead of being the victim of our thinking mind. So we really turn this as they say, the poison of aging into medicine of becoming a more aware and in charge person. The third one is the energetic aspect of us. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so when we start our growth as children, we go into puberty. That's the time that we pay a lot of attention to physicality. If you look at, teenagers, they're awkward about their body is changing, they're becoming aware of their sexuality, they're doing something about their sexuality. It's all about their look, it's all about, physicality, and that's wonderful. And physicality is the thing that's their card. This is I am, and this is my body. So a lot of emphasis on physicality. Then we go to latter, the next stage of life, and then our education, what I did and what I know and how I want to win, and I want to argue with you, and I want to have an opinion, and I'm a political views, and mine is better than yours. And there is a lot of things around mental activity that has emphasis on it. We put all our degrees on our walls, and I want you to see that I have done all of these things. So that's the next sort of natural state, or at least common state, that we go to. And the third aspect is that energetic aspect that we were talking about, that in a more older and traditional and deeper sort of cultures, there is value for that. And by energetic, I mean, I'm afraid to use the word spiritual, but really I mean spiritual aspect of us. That aspect of us that, as Tom mentioned, the wiser aspect of us, or the Deborah mentioned that I'm really good with my age, that I'm learning and I have a lot to share. That aspect of us, the spiritual aspect, that the elders of somewhere, if nowhere else, the elder of my own life, in my own view, I'm the elder here. I'm no longer a young person reactive. So the energetic aspect. So this transition that goes from physicality to mentality seems to, for most of us, stop there. And hence the suffering around aging. Because I never transferred all my knowings and experiences and attention, more importantly, on the spiritual, the energetic aspect of me. I'm still in this realm. And of course, comparing to others that are younger than me, physically and mentally, I may not be able to show up as comfortable or what people call successful. That transition, and by the way, you don't need to be that old to be there. There are a lot of younger people who have incorporated, especially these days, the spiritual, energetic aspect of themselves into it. But by spiritual, I don't mean religious, by the way. I'm not this is not a religion that I'm promoting. It's the attention to that side of us. How am I feeling? What's going on? Why was I here? What can I do? The meanings of life, service, all those things that belong to the third aspect of us. And that, if that transition never happens, then the dissatisfaction gets bigger and bigger, because the more I age, the less I have the memory, the less I have the physicality that I'm, happy with, and hence the suffering increases. So really looking at aging as the part, and by the way, this part is growing, because there was a time that around my age, I'm 63, around my age, people will be thinking about dying. Do you know how many people over 95 I know in my life alone? It's amazing. I have discussions with my mentor. She just celebrated her 99th birthday. She corrects me. We have discussions for hours. She is so sharp in that energetic sense. And she says, I sense this. Do you want to talk about that? And we talk for hours. And she's 99. So that is expanding. If we don't have a plan for that aspect of ourselves, we have a prolonged suffering period. That's when I call we really die emotionally, but we're alive physically, because it's all suffering. I'm always talking about something that happened in the past, or something that I was hoping would happen in the future, which never took place. So I'm going between the past and future, lamenting and being sorry about things most of the time, knowingly or unknowingly. So this is the third aspect that we want to pay attention to. hope this episode answered the question or two for you, or provoked and inspired questions in you. I'm so grateful you showed up and listened up. Until the next time, be well and stay curious.